I gave up on that.
Yeah, don't move the spin around there.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't think he's going to go with them.
No, unfortunately not.
No way. It only lasts 20 That's so kind of rough. That's not your dad's face.
Yeah, it is.
That's not his personal face.
Yeah.
It is? Yeah. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I played it this week. But I'm sorry, I didn't know it's his own. I hope I'll take care of it. It's very, very beautiful. It has an extraordinary but I'm kind of scared of it.
It's his practice, Jace. He has
Yeah?
a traveling
Okay.
face.
Okay.
We were thinking to leave him out of the way so
Went to home?
You got a flower. Oh, sit on that. What is that?
It's tea.
Please have a seat.
Anything you like. You said.
Let's try something else. I can sing. All I need is a chord.
I'm going to sit here.
It's a table. You can't sit on the table.
No, I think
It's not sturdy. It's just a little coffee table.
You know what? If you're ready, just make sure your shoulder butt is there.
This is a good table.
No, don't worry about it.
It's from the surgery. Doesn't have 4 wheels. That's okay.
The white table actually got the white table. The white table. Yeah.
He's not going to go completely.
Okay. This is a song about the Heart Sutra. It was written in Lord Buddha's time. And then it was stolen by the English for a Christmas song. That's in English.
Sangate Bodhisattva
Actually, that's what
Mr. Wick, what time are we going to start?
Geshe Michael, we're all good.
Okay, welcome. Thank you for coming. You have a little bag. Knapsack. Jonah? Plastic bag.
Paperwork. Got it all. Yeah.
That one back there.
So today, we're trying to support those rituals. They give a lot of free classes all year, and many people benefit. And they asked me to come and talk, and they asked me if we could help support their place. Okay, so I'm throwing in $100. I know you already paid maybe, but you're going to pay again. Okay. So just put something in. This bag will go around. And it's just so the classes can be here free in the next few months, okay? And help them. Okay, it's a very, very beautiful thing that such a beautiful space and so much hard work by Nancy, Karen, and Michael Wade. Thank you. And all the people who come here to teach. I know where's John Stewart? Yeah, he's supposed to be in the front. And I know Michael who is teaching here. Is he here? Yeah. So I'd like to thank all the teachers who are teaching us. So put something in, okay? It's fun. So today we're going to have a special teaching on. This is a small piece by Kedrup Je. Kedrup Je was close to one of the two closest disciples of Je Tsongkapa, who was the teacher of the first, His Holiness the first Dalai. And we think of him. He's famous in the lineage for being a tantric. Okay, we say Je Tsongkapa, don't let them be double Geshe Je. So don't let them be double means Kedrup Je was the absolute lord of all the open and secret teachings. So he was known as a tantrika, high tantric practitioner. And he also loved logic, and he thought that logic and tantra were very closely related. Okay, which someday you have to figure out. Especially he's famous for writing on the Kalachakra Tantra. Okay, so the Kalachakra, which His Holiness teaches a lot, one of the greatest commentaries was written by Kedrup Je. In a talk of Je Tsongkapa, he's always on the left. Okay, Je Tsongkapa is on the left. Our
Kedrup Je.
Yeah, on our right. Because Gyaltsab means his other great disciple. His other great disciple, I think this needs a battery.
It doesn't need a battery.
Doesn't need a battery. Needs electricity.
Could be that.
His other great disciple was called the Regent, right? Gyaltsab means the Regent. And so he was the first person to whom Je Tsongkapa granted his throne. On his deathbed, Je Tsongkapa threw his hat at Gyaltsab Je. And everybody took it to mean Gyaltsab Je should be the next one. Probably he was just and then Kedrup Je was the second strongholder. Okay, so Kedrup Je is very important. Kedrup, K means wise, Drup means accomplished. It means both a scholar and a yogi. Okay, and his name means that. Gelek Sambo. His real name was Gelek Sambo. So we get all these little. We have all these projects and refugee camps to save Tibetan books, and we have refugee projects going in many places in the world. So what happens in India is somebody comes down from Tibet. They're carrying maybe a backpack, and they have some rare scripture in their backpack. And they walk into the entry center and they say, "Would you like to type this in?" And then they take it. Can you turn this up? Is there any way to turn it up? They take it and the monks type it in, and they have no idea what it might be, and they just send it to me. And then I have to figure out what all these books are, you know. So I got this little piece. Okay, it's 3 pages, and I was looking at it, and it says, "Kedrup Je Damcha Chu Shukso." It means 10 promises that Kedrup Je made to himself. All right. So I have no idea where it came from. Somewhere in Tibet, and it was written by Kedrup Je, and there are 10 promises that he made to himself. And I was intrigued by the title. And then I went to, can you turn it up, Michael? There's usually a knob, you just turn it.
That's
yeah. Okay. I think they're going to buy a sound system first with all our money.
It's the button that says level at the very top.
Yes, I got it, but it's not a good way to.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better, right?
It is
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
It's
I
much
still have a
clearer.
couple hours to go.
We're okay.
Thank you. So I was intrigued by the title of the text, and then I had a chance to sit down and read it, and it was very, very beautiful, you know. And I thought you would really enjoy it. So this is just a little intimate thing between you and me. It's just a very beautiful little private piece. I don't know if he ever intended people to get a hold of it, but we did. So here we go. By the way, he lived in the 1400s, early 1400s. The text starts, Namo Manju Gokaya, which means I bow down to Manjushri. And it's a tradition that if the text is about emptiness or wisdom, then you bow down to Manjushri at the beginning of the text. So that's a sign that Kedrup Je thought this text was about emptiness. Okay, Namo Manju Goshaya. Manju Gosha is another name for Manjushri. Manju means gentle. Gosha means a throat or voice. So Manjushri's voice really is, his name is really gentle voice. That's his real name. Lama dan sage chanju samba tuse ko the munna ni tu grupa. Topa maybe yeshi pichena never grupa chen the chaksa shin kyapsu chiho. You don't know how nice it is to teach a nice Tibetan Galupa text. Okay. Alright. Lama dan sage chanju samba. I bow down to my heart Lama. Okay, I bow down to my heart Lama. And then the Buddhas, right? Why? Because Lama's higher. Okay? And then all the Buddhas. And then Chandu Samba to all the Bodhisattvas. Tuje Doktam Mulangi Tugupa. Those who have attained the mystic power of kindness, compassion, and making prayers for the benefit of all beings, you know? Munlan means like if we made a munlan right now between us, we would meet for many, many lifetimes. And we would spend beautiful evenings like this. You see? If we made a munlan right now, you want to make a munlan? No, so you just think, you know, I pray that one day, you know, that we could continue this little tete-a-tete for a couple thousand years, you know? From lifetime to lifetime. When you have a free lifetime. You know, well, that's a munlan, and we will. Okay, I like, Longest and me used to sit at McDonald's because we would eat French fries, and sparrows would come up, and then we would throw little pieces of French fry to them, and if they eat it, you can do a munlan, you see? And you'd say, if you eat this French fry, you're going to be my student in your next life. And then you throw the French fry, and then you take it, and then you say, I got you. So, okay, that's a munlan. Munlan bi tudrupa. Topa mebe yeshi bichena nemanam. They have eyes of wisdom, which move like a hot knife through butter. Okay, they have eyes of wisdom. You know, the most difficult concepts approach them, like the aspirin thing, and then their mind just cuts through, like a hot knife through butter. Okay. With great respect, I bow down to you, and I take my shelter in you. Okay, your heart teacher. Okay? So the beautiful thing about having a heart teacher is that we were talking about it last night. You're set for life. If you find your heart teacher, you're set for life. You don't have any other problems. Anytime you get a problem, you just kyapsuchio. You think about them, or you talk to them, or you pray to them, and then everything is taken care of. Everything. See? So at the beginning of the text, he's like, you know, take care of me, and like that. Very, very beautiful. Shakne samba namrata pa yidam to give a guntada game but touching but zerusu. I'm about to make 10 promises to myself with Paksam Nanda. Okay? What's Vaksamnanda?
Personal responsibility.
Yeah, it's like with personal responsibility for the happiness of the entire universe. Okay? I personally accept responsibility for the happiness of everyone on this planet. And with that motivation, with that thought in my heart, Yidam to give it good. I ask that you allow me to have Gek Meba. Gek Meba means no obstacles, no obstructions to these 10 promises. I'm going to make 10 promises to myself, and I ask my Lama and all the holy beings in the universe, please stop any obstacles that would come to me in keeping these promises. Okay? These 10 promises to myself, which I have Yidam to Gipa. Okay, Yidam to Gipa means which I have made a Yidam to myself. A Yidam to myself. So this is a little confusing. Yidam normally means
Personal.
your personal, like your guardian angel. Okay, the one who's like watching over you all the time and following you around. And then here he says, I'm making Yidams here. Okay, and then that's confusing. At the end of the text, he spells it differently. In this spelling, it's Y-I-D-A-M, which means guardian angel. At the end of the text, he repeats the line and he says Y-I-D-D-A-M, which means a promise in my heart. Okay, so I think it is just a miscarving, but it's kind of an interesting miscarving. It means my promises are like my guardian angel. I'm making these promises like a guardian angel to myself. And if anything would come to stop me from keeping these promises, I ask my Lama to help me to stop that. Okay, to stop that obstacle. Okay, maybe Tarchin. Tarchin, who is Tarchin? Ken Rinpoche's ordination name, right? Ken Rinpoche Losam Tarchin. So Tarchin means gone to the end. It means may I Tarchin by my promises. May I bring my promises to their final goal. Kanshi Tuje Chambu, then he breaks into poetry. Okay? Kanshi Tuje Chambu Shemwaki, Dr. Chimse Tsayang Misipar, Shenche Papa Kawe Chukunga, Tame Suke Nyawe Mikyo War, Kanshi Tuje Chambu Shemwaki. You are people who have been taken over by compassion. You're no longer in your right mind. Okay? Shenwanki means you've been taken over by compassion. You no longer have any willpower of your own. You are acting under the, what do you call it? Stronger than influence. Compulsion. You are acting under the compulsion of compassion. Okay? You are like that. Tute Shenwanki. Dakte Chumse Samyang Misikpai. Whether or not the things you want come to you, you don't look at it in the least. Chungsei masipai. You don't worry at all about whether you get what you want. Okay? Shenche papakawa chukunla. Rather, you spend your whole day dedicated to others, like Michael Wick or Nancy Karen or somebody like that. Okay? Those of you who care, maybe somebody can fix the Tibetan. Okay? Here's another couple of errors. Bak and Kar. Okay? We can fix it better. You have countless things and people that you have to keep your patience with. But you never give up and you never get discouraged. Okay? He's describing our personal Lama. Okay? And the Tongme Sukha, the countless things that are difficult to bear, are just our normal behavior. We are Tongme Sukha to our Lama. Okay, I went to Kedrup Je, I got there, and I was like, oh, I'm a big Princeton graduate, and they're really lucky to have me here, And I sat down in the kitchen, and this other student, Ardengo looks at me and he says, you're just a hassle. You're just a hassle for Rinpoche. Your very existence here is a hassle. And that's pretty much the way it is. Okay. Tuktam Tanchin Zepe, Droenyan. You are unknown friends to all beings. You see? You walk down the street. You're going to save this planet, and no one knows who you are. You just look like another person walking down the street, and you're like, okay? But you are going to save this planet. Tukdam Tarshin. Because you yourself kept your promises. Got it? He's talking about his Lama, right? You yourself kept your promises. So you're a person who is an unknown friend to everybody here. You know, you walk down the street, nobody knows who you are. But you are everybody's best friend. Everybody's best unknown friend. Got it? Okay. My Lama, who has been so kind to me, is the root of every good quality I have. Okay? Any goodness that I have in me has only come from a seed planted there by my teacher. Okay? And it's true. For me, it's true. Okay? So I bow to my Lama, I bow to the victorious Buddhas, and I bow to their sons and daughters, the Bodhisattvas. So he's got in the room already, he has basically invited his Lama and every enlightened being and every Bodhisattva. Okay, so the room's kind of crowded. Just get this picture of a room. I always think of them floating up towards the ceiling. I don't know why. Like the floor is empty, and they're all like hanging out. Probably they're bumping their head on the ceiling, you know, and like balloons, like helium balloons, you know. So he's got them all invited to the room, you know. And then he says, in the past, you know, during sacred tantric empowerments, during bodhisattva vows ceremonies, during ordinations for the ordained, Chengar, in your presence, at your feet, Kelang de Tim, I took on certain vows, either as a monk, or bodhisattva vows, or higher vows. I did take on vows before you, at your feet. Langdetim. Dombasungi Chepe Tsamnam Ne. And I do have the 3 sets of vows, you know, like morality vows, bodhisattva vows, and I have tantric vows. Dombasungi Tsamnam Ne. Mato. I have lots of vows. I mean, I don't know about you, I have 460 something vows, okay? I have 253 monk vows, etc. Right? He says, okay, Mato Kelengi wa Chishi. I got lots of vows already. Okay? I got like a fully ordained monk who has tantric vows has like 300 something vows. Okay, already. Unkyang. What's Unkyang? Unkyang means but. Okay, alright, you can see where he's going, okay? So look, I already got a I almost said shitload. I already have a lot of vows, okay? I already have a lot of vows. Like I have hundreds of vows, okay? Don't care. That means no more warrior team. But I noticed lately that my mind is taken over by my negativities, you know? Like I have hundreds of vows, but I noticed that lately my mind just goes bad on me. You know what I mean? I start thinking bad things, I start disliking people, I start getting jealous. One little word from somebody and I get jealous, I take off, I get sad, I get disturbed. My whole day is ruined because I heard that somebody I don't like is succeeding at something. You know, like that, okay? I'm a slave of my negativities. Right? I got all these vows, but it doesn't seem to help me much, okay? Sound familiar? And I did study emptiness, okay? Selflessness. I did study emptiness. I got all these teachings on emptiness. Okay? What did he wrote? He wrote Tongtung Chenmo. He wrote A Drop of Emptiness, right? Very big book on emptiness. Big, hundreds of pages. Okay? I have had powerful and frequent teachings on emptiness. And I twisted them all into filth. Okay? I twisted them all into a river of filth. And that river is carrying me away. You know? I just use my teachings on emptiness as a reason to explain to other people why they're so bad. You see what I mean? Like, you know, I wish you were empty, or, you know, I wish you were more empty, or, you know, like that. You understand emptiness. I don't know why I have people like you around me. You know, like that. Okay, like I took all this emptiness and all these teachings and about the highest things, and I twisted them. And then he says, Tsongkapa means I'm swept away by those thoughts. I'm swept away by my negativities during the day. Okay, I have all these high teachings, I have all these vows, and I'm just like in a flood. I'm carried away. Showa means like a flood carries you away. Okay, Shukchere, Lope Gyun. And it's a backwards flood. It's taking me away from knowledge. It's taking me away from kindness. Okay. Chensheke or Gyurnyamne. And so I was thinking, just to raise my level of daily awareness of my spiritual practice. Okay. I was thinking, just to raise my own awareness during the day. Laryam Gyaldan Seche Sune Tsok. This is a misspelling, those of you who want to fix it. It says Wangor, it should be Pangbor. Pangbor Sote Dunga Chakoyi. So in order to increase my daily awareness of my own behavior, right? Better watchdog on myself. I'm again going to take some commitments before the assembled Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Lamas of the 10 directions of the universe, okay? Just to see if I can. And you see, it's a very appropriate practice for us. We got our Bodhisattva vows back in 97 or 8, I don't remember. And then, you know, we got our tantric vows, and we got our monks vows, and then we pretty much overcame all the influence of those things, and we're back to where we were before. You know, so it's like, maybe I should make some new promises, okay? And so in front of all the Dharma protectors of the universe, in front of all the Lamas, in front of all the Bodhisattvas, Pangbor So, I ask you to be my witness. Okay, he calls upon all the enlightened beings of the universe, and he says, be my witness now. Come and witness my new vows, my new promise. Okay? Pangbor Sote Dunga Trapoyi. And I'm serious, you know, I'm really fed up with myself. You know, like I mean it this time. Okay, it's like getting married for the third time or something. Keron, I am a monk. Daki, Yidam Chupoti, I'm going to make 10 promises. He's going into like vow promising mode. I, the ordained Buddhist monk, these 10 vows, Tengne Tsangde, from this moment, Je Tsongkapa, until the day I die. Sokla Papkyam, even at the cost of my life. Dorwa Migi, I will never give up these 10 promises to myself. Okay? It's 10. I was thinking, you know, obviously the reason I'm reading this or doing this is that I'm also in the same position, and maybe some of you are. But sometimes it feels like you've got all these vows, and you've got all this book, and you're doing all this stuff, and you're doing all this teaching, and then just basic personal hassles with other people. You have basic personal failures with other people. Like you just hate the guts of the person next to you. You know? And you're all these vows and all this learning and all this teaching, and you're constantly going to classes. But then on a personal level, you're just jealous of everybody immediately around you all the time. You know? So he's like, okay, I'm going to just take care of a few immediate messes in my life. Okay? It's very beautiful. He's not swearing to save all living beings. He's saying, I have a few immediate messes in my personal life. So I'm making a new set of promises just for me. And maybe we could do the same. I was thinking one would be okay, instead of 10. Okay? I was thinking one would be alright. Like, I'll watch my jealousy. I'll do it right now. Okay? I promise to watch my jealousy about X person for the whole weekend. He's saying Je Tsongkapa. He's saying for the rest of his life, but I think that's too optimistic. You know, for the whole weekend, I won't get off balance by my jealousy. Okay, and then you come up with your own. As we go through, you come up with your own. He didn't hit mine. Maybe he did hit mine. Okay, we'll see. Sokla Pakyam, even at the cost of my life. Doar Nigi, I will not give up these 10 promises to myself. Okay? He's taking 10 promises in the privacy of his own room. and he has called us his witness, every enlightened being in the universe. Okay? It's kind of beautiful, right? You can do it in your own room. You don't have to be in a big ceremony somewhere. You can do it at McDonald's probably. Okay. Then he says something heavy, okay, you ready? Kalfek Dena, if I should break these promises, Gyawa Sechenki, may all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattva daughters and sons of the universe, Chaktar Gong, may they consider me rubbish. May they consider me garbage at the bottom of the can. Chak means garbage at the bottom of the can. And then Sume Tsok, may the Dharma protectors of the universe, Bak Mei Dak, me who lost his watchfulness, right? Hong Mei Ning Chung, may you rip out my heart. Okay? That's pretty wrong. I'm not promising that part. Okay? Maybe I just won't get an almond milk on the day I break them. Okay? Deva Kemba Sume, now that I have requested you to understand my intention in this way, Damchap Chu Je Tsongkapa, I will now announce the 10 promises which I am making to myself. Okay, he says. Diyan Kante Shenki Semnye Pasung Gopatang Chengol Tsara Masope Chundengi Mixel. First he states, this is very Vinaya, okay? He states exceptions to his first promise. He says, except in the following cases. And what are the following cases? He says, Kante Shenki Semnye Pasung Gopa. If it were necessary to undertake the action I'm about to promise not to do, so that others could retain their faith, then I will not keep it. You see what I mean? Like, he's going to make a promise to do something, but there would be situations in which other people would lose their faith if he kept it. So he's saying, except for a situation where someone else might lose their faith. Okay? And and except in some amazing circumstances. And he doesn't say Wotsara means amazing. Lunchung Wotsar. Say Lunchung Wotsar. That's how I learned this word. I used to read the Tibetan newspaper. And there was a little box at the bottom of the front page called Lunchung Wotsar. It means, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Wotsar means amazing. Lunchung means really happened. Wow, and really happened. Wow, really happened. Okay. So, except in wow, really happened cases, I promise, no matter what time of day or where I am. There's another spelling error user are keeping. I promise that I will not engage in the slightest useless gossip having to do with wars or talking about amazing crimes or politics, etc. Okay? He says, I will not sit and repeat to someone else the latest gossip from the New York Post, for example. Okay. That's my Damchak Dhammo. I will not engage in loose talk. I will not waste other human beings' times with stories about what Obama did today, or who Brad Pitt's girlfriend is this week, or you know what I mean? What Operation Angela Jolie might have had, okay, on her body somewhere. Okay, like that. That's his first. That's his first promise. I will not engage in useless chatter. Which is basically every newspaper you ever read. Okay. That's his first promise. Kumang Kinchakpa Am Lundu Matemba number Mataka Senki Lama Yang Lungte Deniki Nepa Sawe Chindenki Chiba. So he's going to make now his second promise. whether my motivation happens to be faulty at the time, or whether it happens to be neutral at the time. In either case, Semki Lama Yarunte, Deni Kinyeta Sawe Chundeki Chigutama Tupanbashiki Jurika Tsiki Chukamatopa. And here's another exception. Unless I see that it would be great benefit to another person for their spiritual advancement. Okay? So except in a case where it would be to their great spiritual advancement, any person other than myself, I will no longer speak of them in normal terms. I will always speak of them as, like Rob Ha, or, the divine Rob, or the holy Rob. Well, you see, I will speak of other people in high terms. I will use high language when I refer to other people. And I will refuse to judge or criticize another person in a single word. I will not ever judge or criticize another person with a single word, but rather I will speak of them. I will always speak of them with awe and with honor and with respect. Okay? That's pretty much impossible kind of doing. Dr. Nipa. Okay. That was his second promise. Third one. Kelte Rangla Semgyu Chimse Tsamyang Trukpe Nyepa Mindenshin Shenwa Tapde Nyepa Penshin Yiche Pekama Topa. This is beautiful. He states two conditions for the next one. He's smart, he's a logician. I will keep the next promise, but only under the following conditions. Number one. Well, actually, let me think how to say it to you. He's saying, I will not use harsh words, like, oh, stupid, or use a four-letter word, bad language, or say some angry word. I will not say an angry word, or a disrespectful word, or a four-letter word, right? I will not use any kind of harsh language. And then he makes an exception. Unless it would be of extraordinary benefit to another person, and I could say it without the slightest feelings of being upset. Like he's talking about faking anger as a teacher, for example. My teacher used to call me Kupa, or Bongo, or Gyapasoken. You don't even want to know. Okay. You want to know?
Yeah.
Kupa means idiot. What else I said? Gyapasoken means poop eater, but it's a little harder than that. Bongo means jackass. But you see, if you can say those things without the slightest feeling of anger, just to benefit the student who thinks they're big stuff, you see? And then you just say, you're a jackass, But he says that it's possible to do it out of kindness, okay? Without the slightest feeling of being upset. That's what he's saying. Except for those conditions, okay? Any being other than myself, or even any inanimate object. Another misspelling if you care. I will never speak a harsh word. Like I will never say this traffic is really sucks or something like that. I won't even use it towards an inanimate object. I will not let a harsh word leave my mouth unless it is said for the benefit of someone else without the slightest feelings of anger. Okay? Alright? That's promise number what? That was number 3. Okay, number 4. I'm watching the time, Michael. Kangitse children ki chawe chedu tenshi ki nyewa shakte nyepa tak kote nena sempa matopa nyenche dang nye kur dunzi chatan soki nela tunse kyang namu patang dre ke semki takpa mi giwa ni dancha shipa o. I will never closely consider the following objects. I will never pay much attention to the following objects unless it is in the line of dharmic duty. Okay, how's that? Okay, unless it's necessary for my spiritual practice, I will ignore the following objects. Attachment to my friends. Attachment to things that people give me. Dunzi means distractions like TV, internet, emails, streaming videos that aren't dharma things. Okay. Chakdang, my own feelings of liking and disliking. So, Nela Chingsekyang, I will never pay any attention to those things. Okay, if they come up in my life, if there's some thing to watch around me that would just be like distracting to my spiritual studies or my spiritual practice, or if I have undue attachment to friends and family, I just won't consider them. I won't look at them. I will turn away, my eyes away, and I will. He's not talking about love for your parents. You should have love for your parents. You should pay attention to your parents. You should help your parents. It's one of your most important duties as a Buddhist. Okay, you must. What he's saying is that I won't sit at home and worry that I can't go on a retreat because I might miss a day with my sister or something like that. Okay, like when it's necessary, you have to not pay attention to those things. Okay, those who are going into 3-year retreat, you made a choice. And you're choosing to focus on your spiritual goals at the cost of your other things that you would normally pay attention to temporarily, so that you can help them more. You see? Okay. That's his next promise. Which one was that?
4.
Yeah, Shipo. Kangitse nedan lamla sopa hajam dupe kapma topar. Okay. And now he makes an exception, okay? Unless I'm feeling ill, okay? Unless I'm struck by an illness. Lamla sopa hajam dupe kap. And unless I just flew into London for the talks with British Airways and it's 4 o'clock in the morning. He says, unless I am extremely exhausted by travel on a path, etc., traveling, etc. Extraordinary cases, okay? Matopa, Gewe Joreka Kangitseya, when I am engaged in virtue, like a retreat, or when I'm at a meditation retreat in Prescott, Arizona, in December 31st to January, okay? Then during those times that I'm engaged in virtuous practices, Nyawadan, I will not laze around, okay? I won't be lazy, okay? I won't take unnecessary naps, for example. Okay, so there's a time when you need a nap. Like you flew into British Air, we're going to get in at what? 11 a.m. We have to start at 5. We will not have slept for 24 hours. That's okay. You can take a nap. But he's talking about your third nap of the day, when you had an 8-hour sleep already. Okay? Nyawadang Chepa, I don't know what it is, I forgot to look it up. Chemetam means like gossip. Satul Hajang Temba, or excessive eating and drinking. Okay, so basically I won't do, what do you call that kind of eating and drinking where it's just a nervous habit? What's it called?
Mindless.
Mindless. Compulsive. But there's another word.
Binging?
What is it? It's just a nervous habit, like that. He's saying that, like just a nervous habit. Eating and drinking, overeating and having too much intake of food, just because you're nervous or something, or you're bored, something like that, okay? Hajang Temba Soki, which is an interesting thing for someone to say in a scripture, right? Because it's one of our main problems, okay? And you don't see that in scripture very often. Nervous eating, bored eating, Chunging Gopa matching, which serves no purpose for spiritual purpose. Lola Kyawatong, Lelo Kyawatong Shindu. And if I catch in myself a tendency towards dullness or laziness starting during the day, if I find myself getting a little dull, okay, Throat chip, I will cut that stream. I will take steps to cut that stream. Like it happens to me. I was in a room yesterday. They said, Geshe, you have 8 hours off. Translate the Gita for tomorrow. Like I don't have any time for 3 days, and then suddenly I'm supposed to sit in a room for 8 hours and translate. And I started, and I went for about 4 hours. And then I was just like getting dull, and then I thought, I have to take steps, Then you have to take steps. You get up, you go for a walk, do something healthy, eat carrots, do something, go play kirtan music, go do some headstands, do something healthy and constructive to refreshen yourself, and then go back to work. See, like that. Tsongkapa means cut the impending stream of dullness or boredom or something like that. When you feel yourself getting burned out, then go have some fun. Okay, and that's important for spiritual people. When you're close to getting burned out, go see a movie, and that becomes a spiritual practice, and that's good. Tsongkapa, cut the stream. And don't give in to the feeling of dullness. Don't participate. Dangulemba means participate. Don't say, okay, I'm going to be dull for an hour. Okay, fight it. When the time, and then sleep at night. Sleep at night. Save your resting for when you're supposed to rest. Don't rest during the day and then you can't sleep at night. Okay? Like hold out the whole day. Do good stuff. If you get bored or tired, then do something to refresh your mind. Yoga is really good. Like a 5-minute yoga break is really good. Just go do a headstand for 5 minutes, and then you'll be really fresh and come back and keep going. And then when it's time to sleep, you'll be sleepy, and you'll have a good sleep. Okay, like that. That's Dhamma number 5, Lama. Okay, that's promise number 5 to myself. Darga zede doching de kansate inila jena daki gewe chawa nyambe kendang pelwe geksa gyurwa mil dela nipa gyurwa nipa amchiden shinda yushinda wasima mato kaya gyurwa yoshe samyan chindashi lomyang. Okay. Darga zede do. Suppose there is a possession which is in my possession. So he made an exception. Why? You can't give away stuff that doesn't belong to you. Alright? So he starts out by saying, suppose there's a possession which is in your proper possession. Alright? And if I give it to this other person, it will not cause me to degenerate in my spiritual practice. For example, if a monk is sitting with a bunch of people and someone's cold, and you say, take my shawl, go have my shawl, then that would hurt the monk's practice. You see, it's a nice thing to do, it would keep them warm, but if you said just go home with my shawl, it would hurt your own practice. You see what I mean? Or I've had books like Great Lam, like Liberation of the Palm Hands, right? And I had one beautiful copy, and it was given to me by one of my earliest lamas, Sharpa Rinpoche, Tenzin Chinmay, who's in the Dakye, who's in the sadhana. So he gave me that book. And then somebody comes up, and I'm teaching in Tibetan for 2 weeks, and they say, I really like that book, will you give it to me? And then I have to say no, okay? Because it would hurt my own practice, you see? So in cases except for that, if it would hurt the increase of your spiritual practice, except for that, or if they request something from you which would hurt them. Okay, like people asking you for money for drugs or something like that. Okay, or someone says, I want to commit suicide, can you loan me a knife? Okay, like that. Okay, like we're not allowed to give everything that people ask for. Got it? There are exceptions to giving everything people ask for, right? There are reasonable exceptions to giving everybody what they want. And if I have not already pledged that object to someone else, okay, like you say, I owe Global Family ACIP Project $100 from last month. I didn't pay my $100 to ACIP last month. Okay, now I just gave $100 to 3 Jewels. Okay, so I can't do that. And he's saying you can't do that. Take care of the commitments you already have, and then what's left you can offer. But you can't offer something that you already committed to somebody else. Got it? So maybe I should get my money back. Okay. Even if it's just a small thing, okay? It could be a beautiful little thing, it could be sort of an apple with some dents in it, okay? Sangyen means, a really beautiful little thing or something that's a little bit banged up. Alright? Longyang. I will never refuse another person an object which I own if they want it, except for in those cases. Okay? I will never again refuse to give another person something that I own and they ask me for, unless it would hurt my spiritual practice or if it would hurt them. Okay? Or unless I've already committed it to somebody else. Got it? I will not refuse anybody. Not only that, he doesn't stop there. He says, I will give everybody any object that they want of mine, that they ask for. And then I will be happy. Okay? So then that makes it a little harder, right? You're like, okay, take it. Okay. I won't do it in a grumpy way. I will do it with great joy. Okay, have it. I hope it looks good on you. Actually, it doesn't look so good on you, but we have it. Okay. Go to Pendabit. Where is that? Not only that, Zope Changchu Dungo. What's that mean? Zope Changchu Dungo.
Dedicate.
Yeah, I will dedicate that gift to the enlightenment of that person and myself. I'm giving you my favorite dress, okay? And I dedicate it that you achieve enlightenment and I achieve enlightenment. Okay? And I'm happy that you have it. Okay? Like nowhere in here did he make an exception for the things that are favorite to you, did he? It was only if it would hurt the other person or if you already dedicated to somebody else, okay? No matter how dear the thing is to you, if someone wants it, you give it. He's making a promise, I will give it. Okay? And I'll be happy. And I'll pray that this person gets enlightened and I get enlightened by the gift. By the giving. Okay? What was that number? 6. Okay? Okay, here's number 7. You're doing good, Michael Wick. Kangi say, Dakam Yenshe Longchu Koryok So Kaya Ruwaga. La Suya Ruwe, Chia Ruwe, Nepa Dan Minyamba Jepa Dan Sangiwa Dan So Chepe Baru, Chepa Tandela Dambo Kong Chupa Dan Jesu Konduzimba. Okay. Suppose there is, considering either myself or one of my loved ones, okay? Either myself or one of my loved ones. Or it could be the stuff I own, okay? Myself, my loved ones, or the stuff I own. Koryo, or anyone working with me or for me, okay? Or my attendants, my Dharma students, people who live in my neighborhood, my fellow countrymen, okay? Like that. Anybody in my group, Okay? So kaya ruwa, la suyang ruwe, and no matter who does it to them. But if a harm is done to them, okay, to my loved ones, or to myself, or to my stuff, or to anyone in my group, anyone who's close to me, or anyone in my country, or my neighborhood, or my state, or my city. Okay, got it? My people. Okay? But suppose someone does them physical harm. Minyamba japa. Suppose someone speaks gossip or harmful words about them, untrue words about them. Okay? Tsongkapa. Suppose someone criticizes them sharply. Tsongkapa means to stir up the hornet's nest, but it means to. Tsong is a hornet's nest or an ant nest, but it means to expose another person's faults in public. Okay? It's a very specific word. It means dig up the nest. Okay? Tsongkapa. Or even Tsongkapa takes their life. Okay? Takes their life. Haruchepa, even up to taking their life. Okay? Even up to taking their life. Tamchela, to all of those people who do that to my loved ones or to myself or to anyone in my group. Okay? Dambo Kongtrupa. At the beginning of the harm, I will not hate them. I will not hate them. Okay? And I will not be upset. I will not be angry at them. Okay? I will not allow my heart to be turned against them. Okay? It's very beautiful. Jesu Kundajimba. And after they finish the harming of my friends or myself or my family or my people, I will not feel any bitterness for them. I will not entertain resentment towards them afterwards. So during the act, I will not be upset. After the act, I will not feel resentment towards them. Okay? And I will make extraordinary efforts, not even to indicate any facial expression of hatred for them. See, I will control my face and my lips and my eyes, and I will look on them with kindness. It's very beautiful. I will look on them with kindness. I will not allow my demeanor to change. Okay? Chiksekyang, Dandu ni nambala, Chinekyang, Deni la lendum, Mudu Kayaru, Megone, Hen, Dakpe lo, Ke, Ching, Manam Dapani. Rather, I shall strongly pray that this person achieves their spiritual goals in the future and that they have every happiness they wish for. Okay? In response to violence done to me or my loved ones. Okay? I will only pray for their benefit. Okay? That they achieve everything they hope for. Okay? Damjat Dimba. That's number 7. That's promise number 7. That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. I don't know. I think he's going to get his heart torn out. Okay. Okay, here's number 8. Dag ni ki wang chi lu menga temba dogi sok shepa dunsik ramne jinsik nangi yandan chila mekte shenki chimba chao de lung chila nyewi tardun shepa semshin jupe chila Yusu chesam, deni could say Yusu chepa chepa tabu, segu matopa, yoja. Okay, so now he's saying the exceptions, okay? He's saying the exceptions. He's saying, suppose someone makes me an offering for a Dharma teaching, or something like that, okay? Someone makes me an offering. That's what he's talking about. Dagniki Wang Chi, I give an initiation to somebody. Wang Chi Lung, I give a lung, I give a oral transmission. Menga, I give a private interview to someone who wants to tell me their problems and I help them, okay? Advices. Temba. Dogi Sok Shepa, I give a teaching of either the open teachings or the secret teachings. Dunsik, I didn't have time to look up. Rabne, or I do a rite of concept. Someone says, well, Geshe will come to my retreat cabin and bless the cabin. Okay, that's called Rabne. consecration. Ginseng, I make a fire offering. Okay, for somebody. I mean, in Tibet it was common. You would call the ginseng master to your house and give them $100 and say, "Could you do a ginseng today for me?" Okay, like that. Nam ki yun. Now, someone offers me a gift of money or some object. It could be a sheep's intestines full of butter in Tibet. Okay, some other great gift. All right. Chula mikte shenki jimba. Any offering which I receive from another person, which is mixed up with Dharma, okay, which has to do with Dharma. Tell the longchip and yewe ne tagan chepa. Unless I need that offering for some extraordinary immediate use. Okay, he's making exceptions. Okay, like tagan means preparation for a wang. You know, like suppose he has to buy this. Oh, I can't say that. Suppose he has to make a purchase to prepare for an initiation, and someone just gave him $100 for a teaching. Okay, so except for, you know, like within the next 24 hours, he needs that money for some kind of other dharma purpose. Okay, and unless I'm in the middle of sewing a new pair of robes, and unless the guy is shoving the French fries over the counter at me and I have to pay him now. Got it? In a restaurant. He's saying there's circumstances under which he could use the money for himself. Like immediate needs. Okay? Except for those. Unless I have an immediate pressing need for those funds or those objects which have been offered to me, I will not consider them my own. I will not even think that they are mine. Okay? I will look at those things and I'll say, these are not mine. And I will immediately use them for some charitable purpose. I will give them to the Three Jewels. Or something like that. Okay? Like I will immediately reinvest them in some noble purpose and not consider them my own. Okay? They're not mine. They're just passing through my hands immediately. Either I pay for French fries that are on the table already, or I use that, or I give that money away the same day, like that. Okay, he's saying like that. And don't worry. Chiki jemba sik shipa chik yen chik yan chadiki sengi simba chawani. He throws in another one. Okay, should have been number 9, but maybe he wanted to stick to 10. If I give the Dharma, if I give a gift of the Dharma, if I teach the Dharma to another person, so little as a single verse of Dharma, then I will always do so with hopes of changing this entire world, okay? Of saving every being in this world. I will refuse to teach Dharma so little as a single verse without a conscious intention to save this planet. Okay? Alright? I was looking at Michael Hewitt's, I did look at your notebook. It's nice. He has a course running at 3 Jewels in the weekends. Every other weekend. Something like that. But he showed me the materials. He gave me a copy last night. It's very beautiful. It's very sexy. The layout is very cool. And I like the material and I like the format. Okay? So even just to hand someone a page from that, I promise, which is number 8, that I will not give somebody so little as a page from Michael Hewitt's notebook of his course unless I consciously intended to change the entire world. Okay? Got it? It's cool. And it will, by the way. You know, these things are weird. This stuff is weird. The stuff you're dealing with is very, what do you call it? Volatile. The ideas you're dealing with are very, very volatile. You know, we were asked to go to British Airways, right? They're having a huge strike. They're losing $100 million a month, okay? It's a $12 billion company. They have 40,000 employees, right? They said, can you help us? You know, so we went, and the union is sitting, 6 union representatives on the left, on the right, and on the left, 6 of the top board of directors, people from the board of directors, right? And then we just, they say you have 1 hour to tell us what you can do for us, you know? And then they're looking at us, and then we did it. Like me and Mercy and Ningbo went there for 1 hour. We flew there for 1 hour to London, and we gave 1 hour, and then they all leaped up, and they said, we'll do it, you know? And we're going on Monday, Sunday, we're going Sunday to train, to start training 40,000 people. But this stuff that we're dealing with now is very, very powerful, extremely powerful, okay? The ideas here are extremely true. And normal people who could care less about Dharma, these are business people. And these are union hardheads, you know? And they're like, yeah, we could use this. This could help our airline, you know? And they're like, do it. Let's do it, you know? They just jumped up and said, let's do it, you know? So when Kedrup Je says, even if you go next week and Michael goes next week and somebody comes in for 10 minutes and they're sitting in the back and they leave, right? But you let them sit there for 10 minutes and you say the words you were going to say. And as they leave, you say, the exchange we just had between us is going to change the world. You know, the idea I just put in your head is going to change the world. And believe it and think it as you teach it, because it already is. It's already happening. Weird stuff can happen. Those 40,000 people are handling 36 million passengers a year. What happens if we infect the carriers? No, I mean 36 million people a year. You know, like, this is interesting. It's very powerful stuff. It's very, very powerful stuff. So as you teach it, even a single verse, think, you know, I'm releasing a virus. You know, God bless. All right, okay. Here's something. I forget where we were. I think we're on number 9.
Yeah.
Okay, Temba Bashik. I'm doing okay, Michael. I gotta have some get out time, right? Is it a quiet class or is it a yoga class or something? Okay, we can be noisy. Alright. Temba Bashiga Sambe Luz Tsunami Dunla Lopar Tope Topar Gope Yanlagma Topar Shinyan Sulayang Ningapa Chimse Kyang Ni Mashin. I will never. Okay, now you're in the Dharma teaching business. So now you have a whole new set of mental afflictions to deal with. Okay? Now you have pride and you have competitiveness. So he's addressing that. Here's Kedrup Je, one of the greatest spiritual teachers ever produced by Tibet, out of hundreds of thousands of great lamas. Okay? And he says, I will never again say a bad word about a competing spiritual teacher, another spiritual teacher. I swear, as number, what, 9? Yes. I will never say a single bad word about one of my fellow teachers. Okay? And he has an exception. Unless I am actively and openly and honestly debating that person because they are teaching a wrong idea, which I challenge, because it would harm the teachings. Okay? So he said actively, openly, honestly, right? Not behind their back or something like that. You go to them and you say, look, this thing you taught yesterday, there's a problem with it. I think there's a problem with it, you know? So you deal with them directly. You don't go to the other people and say, so-and-so is teaching bad stuff. Okay? You confront them directly and say, I don't agree with what you're teaching. And here's my reasons and here's the scriptures, and, you know, I think you should think about not teaching that. But you don't backbite them. Okay? Like that. Okay. Because obviously in Tsongkapa's day they had tremendous and public debates between the great Buddhist teachers. Geshe Je ripped apart hundreds of teachers, but with kindness to help the teachings. And then they were better teachers after that. Okay? Like that. Not only that, I will do my best to advertise them. Okay? I will go around New York City and say, God, do you know about Michael Here's class? Do you know about John? Do you hear about John Steele's class? And you can't believe how cool that class is, you know. And then you actively pitch the classes that are being taught by your fellow teachers. Okay, that's big in the yoga community too, right? So, oh, so-and-so's doing an alignment thing this afternoon. You know, you should try to catch it. Or you know, I went to a yoga class. My first yoga teachers, David and Sharon and Lady Ruth, they told me, whenever you go traveling, which I do every week, to another city, you take a class from somebody, you know, and you get something precious out of it. You try to learn something from someone new. And that's now been hundreds and hundreds of classes. And I've been exposed to almost all the great yoga teachers in the world because of that one advice. They didn't say, don't go anywhere except do mukti. You know, they didn't say that. They said, go experience as many teachers as you can and learn cool stuff from them. See what I mean? That's Holiness. Okay. Holiness. Kansa chakmen sulang. Punsun chakmen number chechon di chitu patang yidang di kia pachun and tuba chichi tuba tonam. And whatever person I run across who is teaching a class, I will strive to see the beauty in what they're teaching and not focus on some kind of problem. Okay? So, you know, I've been to some really bad yoga classes in those hundreds. Extraordinarily bad yoga classes, you know. But I still have this thing. I walk into the class and a teacher gets in front of me and some past life thing takes over. And I'm like, yes sir, no sir, yes, ask me to rip my shoulder out. I will do it. You know, and you know, it's some past life thing, you know, they stand up in the teacher's, once they're in a teacher's spot, I have to do what they say. You know, and it should be like that, okay? Like no matter what kind of teacher they are. And you know, sometimes you get it, we went into some classes in the valley in LA. You know, and they're like, everyone sits around and they all go, oh, you know, and then they put, what, perfume on everybody's head and you lay down, and then they charge you $40. And I'm like, is there going to be a yoga class? And they said, this was the class. You know, and you know, okay. And then you try to see something good. Try to see something good. You see? Concentrate on something good. I use that oil now for people's, when I massage my students after class. So you can always find something good. Okay. Alright. Concentrate on you can always find something good in a class. And consider the person an enlightened teacher. Like the Dalai Lama. Think that when you take a random yoga class in Amsterdam, that the teacher who walks in is the Dalai Lama in disguise. And you will learn something. Something good will come. Okay? Alright. And I won't get upset at all by how bad the class is. And I will do whatever I can to take joy in the fact that there was a class. That's my 9th promise, okay? We're right on schedule here. Okay. I'm just making fun. We're old friends. 100 years now. Okay. So we have to make fun of each other when we can. Damcha Chiba. Here's number 9. Nedam Chonkun Sok Trapit Sepe Shewon to Kirpe Drupa Ninupe Kachina Matopar. He gives the exceptions first, alright? Which is what? Nay, unless I'm extremely sick, like unconscious, right? Chonkun Sok Trapit Sepe. And unless there's been some major disruption that morning that a guy walked into my room with an AK-47 and robbed me, you know, something like that. He doesn't exactly say AK-47. Sepe, Shewon de Gyurpe. You know, unless things are, what do you call it? Act of God out of my hands. Alright? Shewon de Gyurpe. Drupa Mini pick up, in which case I won't be able to keep this promise. So he's covering himself. Jisi Tsoy Partu, for the rest of my life, for the rest of my natural life, Ningshak Rei Nangdu, every single day, Gedrup Je, I'll observe the 10 moralities of a Buddhist. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, no splitting up people, no harsh words, no idle gossip, no being happy that someone failed or unhappy that someone succeeded, and then not entertaining wrong views of the world. Okay, these 10, I will keep them. And I will keep my 6 times practice. Okay? We invented a one-time book. Me and my friends invented a one-time book. But then there was a debate about whether it was once a day or once a weekend. Anyway, he says 6. I will formally think about saving the world 6 times a day. I will formally think about changing the world 6 times a day. More specifically in the mornings, I will pray for what this world will be in the future. Okay? In the mornings, I will have a vision of what this world will be. Okay? I promise that before noon, I will sit down for 2 minutes and think about what the world could be. Okay? Chansangi Domarani Lambitsikyapa. Chantuki Samgi Ni Jongwe Mingnam Noshi Tenshiyan. Sundu Lambar Golden and Chunam Tamje doing Deni, Kitsis in the Tenshi Gayan de Mashorwar, Narmar Temple Bepa. I will maintain throughout the day a sense of that what I'm doing is going to change the world. Okay? And I won't lose the flow of that feeling in my waking hours. Okay? I will always think that somehow what I'm doing is changing this world. And small things change the world, okay? Small actions done with knowledge, they are super infecting. People see you do stuff. Somebody yells at you bad, or someone hurts you really bad. Someone does to you the greatest violence they could do. And then you just help them. And then the people around you are going to notice. Whether on a conscious level or a subconscious level, they're going to say, this is weird, Person A screwed person B big time. And now person B is like promoting person A. Something's going on here. And then they notice that person B is happy all the time. And then they're like, well, maybe there's something to that. You see what I mean? You will infect people constantly. You are changing the world constantly when you just keep your view and when you just want to help the world. Okay? You are already changing the world. Just people sitting around. I had a lady come up to me. She said, I forget where it was. I think it was in New York. But she said, this is the first class I ever came to of yours. But I've seen you before. I saw you with about 5 other people on the floor of Heathrow Airport in 1993. Everybody working on a laptop. Because the only plug we could find was the one they used to clean the floor. And it was under a screw in the middle of the airport. So we couldn't sit in a room. We had to sit out in the middle of everywhere. We unscrewed the screw, we all plugged in, and we were translating these holy books, And then she said, I saw you 6 years ago on the floor of Heathrow Airport, and I was thinking how cool you people seem to react with each other. The cool feeling that seemed to be going on between you guys. And I just walked on. I didn't think about it until now, and I recognize you. You know what I mean? And see, that happens. That people are watching you. People are responding to your vibration all the time. You are changing the world if you're just trying to be a little kind from moment to moment. Okay? All right. Gita Daki Yidam number 2. Minder Shindu Shingi Chobadam, Takche Pande Chungyal Mawa, Jitsam Bekan Jube Tabmepa, Dera Minche Rama Takana, Timbe Bena Jupa Nipata, Jupna Gopa Chewa Tone Ni, Gyawa Seki Matching Chupala, Inne Gubete Pakibata, Gyawa Seche Tenden Sumitso, Pamba Suwe Danja Ditaro. These are my promises, okay? And I make them before the assembled holy beings of the universe. And I will do the best I can to keep them. And I will not let myself have even, what do you call it? Even if someone else tries to force me to give them up, or even if I lose my awareness and I make small slips, I'm going to keep this, okay? I'm going to keep this, all right? The always say, Deche Salabakyan Damche Kur, Dida Mipan Layan Yasichi. This is a heavy burden of promises I have made to myself. I will not drop the ball, okay, even at the cost of my life. Dile Tami Lapchin Chukuna, Dundan Joa Kondukawaki, Sulitim Betusum Gavakun. Chiktu Donet Suru Kunduta Mecha Shin and Choki Jesung Ne. I take all the good karma that I've made by making these 10 promises, and I dedicate it to one goal, that I should be at my teacher's side forever for all my future lives. Okay? He says, I dedicate all the karma that I have done by these actions, that I should always be at the side of my heart Lama, not just this life, but in all my future lives. Okay? The rest of my existence as a living being, I dedicated that I should always be at my teacher's side. Then he gives the year and the date that he wrote it, okay? It was the, we can look it up. I forgot, okay? It was the rabbit year. It was the month of woe. And it was the 8th day of the month of woe in the rabbit year. And he wrote it at a place called Taijingling.
Sashi Kuri Geshe Michael Roach Vira Vinshin Indem Padi Sangye Shindu Miteruari Trokunamda Shimla Chupasho Idam Guru Ratnamandalakam Niyatayami Kevati Kevokum Sunam Yeshe Tsongkapa Sunam Yeshe Lejungwe Dampa Kuni Tropasho.
one short announcement. So in my life, I was lucky enough to study with Kedrup Je for 25 years, and then I don't know, about 20 years in the monastery doing the Geshe course, which I never intended to be a Geshe. I just survived, and about 40 other guys did it. But then when I came back in the early 90s, I started in New York. I thought it would be really beautiful to teach people the Geshe course. So we worked really hard, a lot of us worked really hard, and we, over 6 or 7 years' time, we taught the 18 courses. The John Scalia helped a lot, and due to the kindness of many people, Michael Wick, Nancy Karen, many other people, we were able to finish 18 courses of the Geshe course. Then I went into a 3-year retreat, and then when I came out, people said, will you teach the secret teachings, Tantra? Then we did 7 years of Tantra, and we translated all the texts for a course in Tantra. So there's about 12,000 pages of courses now, translations. And I feel like those are 2 big cycles of teaching, right? And then I had this inspiration recently to, we finished the Tantric course at Dalai Mountain last summer, and I was planning to do a 3-year retreat. Then some things happened where I didn't have to do a 3-year retreat anymore, which is very lucky, and I can't tell you, okay? So then I thought, well, I have all this time now. So one thing Rinpoche did was he taught us a Lam text called Namdo Lakchang. It means a gift of liberation thrust into the palm of your hand. And he taught it for 25 years. He taught it 3 times. Once in Washington, D.C. and twice in New Jersey. So I was his driver and his dishwasher. So he needed me in Washington. And I got to go to all those teachings. So I got the whole cycle 3 times over 25 years. And I was sitting having lunch with somebody recently, and there was a group of people who are not Buddhists, and they're all saying, well, what's your favorite book of all time? And each person around the table, they said, this is my favorite book. And I was thinking, I don't know, I've been exposed to thousands of great books, Then I thought, no, Namdo Lakchang is the greatest. The greatest thing I've ever been taught in my life was this Lam Rin by Paboka Rinpoche, right? Who is the teacher of the current Dalai Lama, and our teacher's teacher. So I thought I should really pass that on. It was a blessing of a lineage, you see. And I thought I won't even translate it. It's been translated by our Lamas, my Lama and his student Art. And I thought I won't even try to translate it. I just want to pass it on. I just want people to get that blessing of that extraordinary teaching. It's really extraordinary. So there's a custom in Tibet with Lam Rim, which is that you teach it for like 10 days, then you give the people like a month or 2 to digest it, and then you do a retreat together, and you try to achieve that particular stage of the path. So if the stage is like a death meditation, you do it for 10 days, you teach the meditation from the scripture for 10 days. Then you all take like a breather for 2 months. And then you all got to get together and you go out in the forest and you have a 10-day retreat. And you try to get the realization of death in your heart, as a real experience. This is called Nyamchi. It's a way to teach scripture. And I never had a chance to do that. And I thought it'd be really cool if we did that. So what we're going to do is in November, in the first week of November, right? November 5th, starting November 5th, there'll be 10 days, the first 10 days of teaching. And we're going to start with emptiness and shamatha, deep meditation, in Phoenix. And then we'll have a retreat in Prescott, Arizona, in the forest in Prescott, at like a Boy Scout camp or something, in January, starting on New Year's Eve. Okay, the day after the other kids go into 3-year retreat. So I'm going to go put them to bed, and then And then that day we'll go up to Prescott, and then that night we'll start the retreat. It was originally that we were going to start at the same time, but they're going to be like banging windowsills or something, I suspect. And my dream is to make them all free. All those teachings should be free. Okay, so I apologize that the yoga teachings cost money. It's some decision I made long ago that yoga teachers will take it more seriously if we charge them. I don't care about not trying to make money and not interested in money. But so Diamond Mountain was free. The first cycle of teachings in New York was free, and the Phoenix teachings will be free. Okay, so it's just free. All you have to do is get there. And it's 10 days, it'll be really beautiful. And then during the day, I mean, we'll have those teachings, and my idea is 2 weekends in a row. So you say 10 days, but it's not really 10 days. It'll be Saturday, Sunday, 2 classes on Saturday, 2 classes on Sunday, 2 classes on the following Saturday, 2 classes on the following Sunday, 2 classes in between at night, which you could catch streaming. I don't care if you stream 90% of it or 10% of it, whatever you want. We'll stream it. And then you just come when you can, okay? But it's designed that you could fly in from New York, catch Saturday, Sunday, go back to work, come back the following weekend, and do that twice a year. And you would get the whole long room in 7 or 8 years, okay? So that's my dream. That's my next dream project. We'll do that twice a year. Twice a year we'll have 2 weekends of intense teaching. With stuff during the week. So if you can't come during the week, it's okay. If you can come during the week, we'll do new yoga teachings, we'll do tantra, we'll do emptiness teachings, and then we'll continue this cycle of 10 days of 10 classes of scripture, followed by 10 days of deep retreat together. And if you can't come to the scripture, but you just want to come to the retreat, that's fine. If you just want to come to the scripture but can't go to retreat, I don't care. And if you can only come once a year, that's okay too. And we're not charging. You have to pay the Boy Scout camp for the bunk bed. I don't know exactly what they're charging, but it's cheap. And the food is cheap, I hope it's okay. And then the rest, you just come and it's free. Okay? So try to start this November if you can, because it's going to go 7 or 8 years. And I think you'll regret it in 2 years if you don't start at the beginning. You know, it's going to be very intense and very powerful. And I think people who were in New York in the 90s, you know, we feel lucky that we were there the whole time, right? To make the whole thing is a big deal. And then to have been at Diamond Mountain for 7 years and gotten the whole tantric transmission. Somebody called it the Great Download, you know, and it was. And it was intense. And people now, like the last few semesters, a lot of extra people came and they said, it just occurred to me that it's ending. I'm like, duh. You know, so I encourage you to come at the beginning. And it's easy, it's Phoenix, we're like 20 minutes from the airport. You land, you come over, you take class, you go back. You know, you can get miles. You can sleep on the floor somewhere. We got a church compound somewhere with lots of beds, and they're going to let us put 100 people, you know, anybody's stuff in there who doesn't have any money. And, or you could stay at the Royal Palms Inn and spend $400. I don't care. But come, okay? Come if you can. It'll be an extraordinary transmission of what I received, and it will not happen again. I can't do it twice, okay? So try to come to that, okay? All right.
Geshe Michael, your New York students love you very much. Just saying that your New York students love you very much. Your future, past, present students, and really would love you to come and teach us here. Please come when you can.
Please come.
Please stay.
Please stay.
Thank you.
I promise to come to Three Jewels whenever I'm in New York, if humanly possible. Okay?
That's
Johnson, yay!
Yeah, along with the people that number of the text is
I can give it back to you once again.
I thought it might be like the format of
Do you want the gardenia, Geshe? Do you want the gardenia?
Yeah. Andrea,
Thank you, please. Please stay.
harmonium. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Corner. Just drag it to the corner. Any corner. Bottom left-hand corner. Sorry. Thank you. See you.
Something says when camera editing,
Can you plug in the PowerPoint, please?
I'll give you 50 bucks.
What's this? How are you? Good? That's a nice way to end it. Good commentary, how's that?
Yeah, that's nice.
How was that?
We love you. Yeah, we love Geshe Michael, and we want him to come back and stay in New York because he's my heart.
Awesome, awesome, thank you.